guys, welcome back to another episode of Delusion of Sports. I'm here with Ricky, Shin, and Jake. I'm Thatch the Undrafted. Let's get started. All right, so we'll start off with the NBA in review. Jake, what did you see out there this week?
It's finally getting back into the kick of things for the playoff push. All the teams at the top are really, Lakers, Clippers, Bucks. They're starting to get it rolling again, getting that team chemistry back. But the thing I've had my eye on for most of the season has just been the 76ers. It's been a real roller coaster ride. Simmons goes down with a back injury. The first game without Simmons, Embiid goes off for 49 points. He's, Millie rocking for the crowd, showboating. Right. Literally the next game he hurts his shoulder. So a team that desperately needed that refresh to get their team chemistry, just their team chemistry right, not even injuries, because Horford's been somewhat of a bust. Tobias Harris has been a big letdown in terms of the contract he got, and they really needed this push they need to push into the top 4 seeds, because they're the best home team in the league. They have 2 losses on the whole year at home, and they're really bad on the road. So they really needed to get up into those top 4 seeds to at least have one series where they have home court advantage. But now with Embiid and Simmons out, they're in some trouble. The good thing is they're figuring out who's good on their bench for a couple of games here and there. But if Simmons' back issues are anything more than spasms, they're in big trouble, because it's 2020, not 2002. A center can't carry you to the playoffs, to the championship.
Yeah. Definitely. And Christian?
What I seen this week, especially from the Pelicans, they went 2-1 this week. They're really trying for that 8 seed playoff push. They lost to the Lakers, beat the Warriors and Cavs, so they beat the teams they were supposed to. The only bad thing for the Pelicans is the Lakers did lose to the Grizzlies. But having said that, the Pelicans have the easiest schedule remaining, as Jake said last week.
Yeah.
And then I would like to say, since Zion's come back, he's been on that monster 20-point game for the last 10 games, and a guy like Lonzo who can adapt has taken a step back in his scoring, and he's only scored 7 points a game now, but they're winning because of it. He's taken a step back, and he has the most assists per one person, and that's to Zion in the league. And but I will say, moving forward, their last 8 games of March will determine if they make the playoffs or not. They're the 8 and what I mean by the 8, they have the easiest schedule left, is those last 8 games of March are the easiest games they have. They play teams like the Kings, Knicks, Hawks, and Magic. And then they play the Grizzlies twice. That's going to be huge.
Okay.
And like I said, that'll determine whether they make the playoffs. I think with Zion, Ingram, and if Drew Holiday can get back to some type of consistency, because he will play well for one game and then play trash for a couple games.
Right. I think he also just one player out of Redick, Favors, or whoever else you're bringing off the bench. One of them has to give you double digits a game. And I think you're great.
Right. And I finally think they could have a pretty good rotation set. Early in the year, they had the most different rotations of any team, and that's probably why they went on a 17-game losing streak.
Yeah.
But anyway, like I said, those last 8 games, really be watching for those for March, as that will determine whether it's the Trailblazers, the Grizzlies, the Spurs, or the Pelicans making that 8 seed push.
Right. Do you think it's going to be the Pelicans though? In your
I do, and they do play the Spurs in that stretch too. One game. And actually, I do. They just got healthy.
Okay.
So barring any injuries, they just got healthy. They'll play the Grizzlies twice, so that's going to be exciting. Everyone's going to tune into those games, because it's going to feel like a playoff game regardless of how many games left in the season. But I think they do. Like I said, they finally found their recipe. And who they are. And JJ Redick don't miss the playoffs, so.
True.
Yeah.
All right, hey, Bobby, what did you see last week?
Well, the OKC got completely destroyed against the Bucks, 133 to 86. That was pretty much a disappointing game. Yeah. But looking forward into next week, we play the Clippers, the Pistons, and then the Knicks. I'm hoping for at least 2 wins out of that. Maybe all 3. I'm not sure.
Right. Well, what
Yeah.
what does the Thunder need to do to secure wins against those teams though? Like why did they get blown out?
I feel like we especially they beat the Clippers. We need to up our defensive game a little bit, and then definitely try to get in the paint more, because as far as I'm concerned, we don't really have any good 3-point shooters right now. So I don't know why Chris Paul's outside the 3-point line trying to go from deep when he can't nail it.
Right.
And then for the Pistons and Knicks, I'm not too worried about. We really just need to get inside the paint, and that's pretty much
Play your
it.
game, you should win those.
Just play
Exactly.
OKC.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right. How's that going to go down? What's going to happen?
I mean, they have 3 pretty easy games. They should win all of them. The first one was at home against the Warriors, who, I mean, they have Steph coming back, but that really doesn't mean anything. They're trash besides that. And even if Steph does come back, he's probably going to be on restriction, because the Warriors are smart and they're probably tanking this year, which they should. But the Nuggets are just really, really good. And then their other 2 games are against the Hornets and the Cavs to kick off a away road trip, which, what a great way to kick off an away road trip.
Yeah.
You get 2 easy games back to back. And don't get me wrong, the Hornets and Cavs are both scrappy, so if they don't play their best game, they could get beat in both of those games. But if they just do what they need to do and execute their game plan, they should win handily. Everyone's talking about the Clippers and Lakers out of the West, but the Nuggets are the 2 seed right now, record-wise. They literally just beat the Toronto Raptors at home, and these 3 games are going to be a good buffer, because right after that, the next game starting the next week is the Bucks. So, and I think Jokic is one of the best bright talents of young players in the league, and they're a team I would be scared to see in the playoffs, no matter what my seed is.
Right. So a pretty easy week for them. You saying they're going 3-0?
Yeah, they're going 3.
3-0 all the way.
Yeah.
That's what we like. All right, Christian. You have the Utah Jazz this week.
Yeah.
How are they going to do? Who are they playing?
I just want to ask why is there a reason you picked the Nuggets?
They're of the teams that I'm not a major fan of.
Yeah.
Obviously all of us have our favorites.
Right.
They're just a team, when they're on, I stop what I'm doing and I watch them. They're just fun to watch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And yeah, I picked the Jazz.
Jazz.
They got 4 games this week, and the reason I picked them is they're one of the 2 through 7 seeds in the West that are 4.5 games in between each other. So this could literally completely flip. So I just picked one of those. I thought the Jazz was a good one. And then, so the first game they have is the Cavs. Definitely think they're going to get a win there. The Jazz are just too good defensively to lose to a team like that.
Right.
As you've seen probably for the past 3-4 years, they just don't lose to those teams. The next they got the Knicks, and these are all road games for the Jazz.
The whole week's a road trip?
The whole week is
Okay.
road trip. So the Knicks, like Jake said, what a way to start off a road trip, with 2 teams. And then I would say the week before, the Jazz literally went on a 4-game home losing streak, which was crazy to me to think that the Jazz losing in front of their home fans.
It's one of the best home court advantages in the whole league.
Yeah.
The fans show out.
Yeah, and so having said that, they want a good week on the road, but then they have to go to Boston, which they did lose to Boston 114-103 not even a week ago.
Okay.
So I do think the Celtics will get that win.
Celtics are cooking.
Yeah,
There's not a lot to say.
they're
Right.
cooking, and then they finish it with the Pistons, and on a long groggy road trip, I think they actually do lose to the Pistons
Really?
to round out this week.
Yeah. Why? Just because it's a road trip?
Yeah, they're going to lose to the Celtics. They're going to put most of their energy into them, and like I said, they usually don't lose to one of those teams. But on the 4th game of a road trip,
Yeah.
and a team where the Pistons aren't that bad, they're a team that you can't just walk in and be I would say the Cavs or Knicks, that you're going to walk in and just beat them.
Do you also have any concerns about rotation problems and just they've been struggling on offense? Conley hasn't been the pickup they wanted.
Right,
So
which I think they should honestly revolve their second team. I know they've tried to, or at least have experimented with it ever since they picked up Clarkson. They need to just make him their focal point as their 6th man.
Well, because this year, I saw this week, Snyder tried to move Conley to the bench and put Royce O'Neal into the starting lineup, but they made them throw Ingles to the bench.
Yeah.
Like that came from higher ups, like GM, owner.
Right.
So, I mean, I think this is a really bad time to have that sort of turmoil. Not like, I mean, there's a lot of drama, but it's like they don't have a set five where it's at this point in the year.
Right.
For the most part, unless there's some special situation, I think you should have your closing five. And I just don't think Conley, after that injury, has been what they wanted him to be.
Right.
And that's another. I mean, I'm not saying like the Jazz could go on a run and tell me to shut up
Right.
right now. They have they have 5, 6, 7 guys like you said with Clarkson.
Right.
They can win right now. It's just I haven't. The issue is I haven't seen it.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So just to round out the week, I think they end up 2-2 for the week.
2-2 for the week.
Yeah.
Okay. Not bad for a road trip though.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. And Bobby, you had the OKC Thunder.
Yeah.
They got 3 games this week. You know, how's that going to go down?
Well, we got one home game, but I don't feel like we're going to win it just because, well, for one, the Clippers are doing really good.
It's against the Clippers.
Yeah,
Okay.
so if we're to win that, we need to not only step up our defense, but we need to get in the paint more because, like, we literally don't have any good three-point shots from outside the three-point line, which, by the way, I don't know why Chris Paul is deciding to go from deep. He's not a three-point shooter.
Yeah.
And then our other 2 are away. We got the Pistons and the Knicks. I'm hoping those are going to be 2 wins. Like I said, we just really need to get in the paint more. As far as I'm concerned, give the ball to
Adams.
Steven Adams, and then or Gilgeous Alexander. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong.
Yeah.
But no, either way, we should go 1 and 2. No, so sorry.
2-1.
Yeah, sorry, 2 and 1 at the very most.
Yeah.
So
You're going to lose at home and win the 2
Yeah.
away games?
Yeah, I mean
Okay.
the Clippers are a tough game
Of
whether
course,
you're
yeah.
at LA or not.
Right.
Also, I feel like there's going to be a lot of beef between us and the Clippers just because PG-13 is on the Clippers now, and
Okay.
so
Yeah.
Nobody
Yeah,
you guys don't like that?
I mean, I don't get why he's escaping the hate that Durant got.
Yeah.
He had 2 years left on that contract. It was like, nah, I want to go play with my friend.
Yeah.
True.
exactly. So
And Thatcher, who'd you pick?
I didn't pick anybody this week.
Okay.
Okay. But
Solid.
thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.